Hello everyone and welcome back to more Seduce with the Otome. Anyways, I'm back again for a third play on this game because we've only romanced two of the six guys plus three girls so far. So, as I said before, after we finished James' route, which we did in the last episode, which ended as him proposing to us at the end of his true ending. So we got that, and like in the end, Diana kind of still left us because James loves us more than he loves her, which is a given. So yeah. So she knew when to back off, and that was how it ended. I thought it was going to be more of a messy situation because James technically was the one that Diana was supposed to marry, but you know, whatever. So anyways, as I said before, after James, I decided to romance or move on to Matthew and see what his story or how his story is going to end. So we're back here all the way time travel to the beginnings where the boys first came to our house, and instead of going to the part where we are heading to the dining room, I figured we should stop at this point of the game where he summons that satanic looking squirrel with the knife, and he was like, God damn, I didn't mean to do that, and then he was like, shit, I don't know what to do with it now, and now we have the choice of either saying you can have it or I think I'll keep it. So last time I said you can have it because I ain't as hell gonna fucking keep that thing around me. Who knows what it might do in my sleep. So regrettably, I still wouldn't want to keep it, but I feel like this should be part of his route. So in order to do so, we'll have to accept it. So let's go and do this. I'll keep it because I'm a nice person.
But it looks so creepy.
But whatever. It's fine. It's the thought that counts, right? You wanted to cheer me up after all. I picked up the doll and looked at it closely. Sure, it looked pretty weird at first, but it could be cute if I looked at it from a certain angle. Yeah, the one angle that, kind of hides the fact that he's holding a little knife. I gave him a small smile. Thanks. There we go.
You're welcome. It's good to see you smiling, even though the thing I made still kind of creeps me out.
Dad, creeps me out too.
Anyway, you should come with me to the dining room. We're almost finished with the food, and, well, I don't mean to brag, but we're pretty decent chefs.
Oh, are you? Well, yeah, we already kind of know that. Sounds great, lead the way. Okay, so we can skip on ahead. We skipped on ahead to this point where the last time I started James' route, which is the part where Eric and Matthew were bickering. James looked really displeased about it, or maybe Sam was involved with that too, I don't know. But anyways, like, he looked pretty unhappy about the whole situation. We were trying so hard not to laugh, so we already know. So then was Damien's choice, and but I did was James's choice because we decided to hold back our laugh. But this time, obviously, we're not gonna do that because, fuck it. Oh, wow. So that's like everybody's route, or mostly everybody's. Okay, so that's noted then. Ha 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 ha. I couldn't hold in my laughter anymore. As I laughed, Matthew and Sam looked my way, faces stuffed.
Is something funny?
Your face.
What are you laughing at?
I stopped to catch my breath. I leaned over the table and took a few breaths before replying. Oh wait, never mind. It's the part where like they weren't bickering. They were stuffing their faces, and James was unhappy because of their table manners. Right. Yeah, I stopped to catch my breath and leaned over the table and took a few breaths before replying. You both are so funny. So funny. Both of their faces turned a slight pink before they looked away from me, and they swallowed their food in their mouths.
Shut up! We're not funny. We're hungry.
Well, we're glad that we made you laugh.
Gee.
Shut up, Matthew!
Sam. Oh, Sam.
What? I'm just saying.
You're just embarrassed. I get it. Hee hee.
See, James, it's entertainment for her.
They were funny to me. At least they enjoyed the food. As I watched, I took a couple pieces of food myself. and placed them on my plate before eating as well. Nom nom nom. Okay, so we can skip on ahead. Wow, that was really short. We skipped on ahead. Suzu and Naomi came, and we were supposed to get ready for the dinner party, or the I keep saying it a dinner, call it a dinner party, but it's actually a house welcoming party. But anyways, whatever, same shit. We decide to like stay around the house to help the guys out for it, and so we already did Eric. I mean, Damien, James. Now we're gonna do Matthew with cooking. Okay, that's surprising. Matthew with cooking then. I walked into the kitchen and instantly looked over at Matthew, who was quickly slicing up strawberries and placing them into a nearby bowl. Huh. I walked over and looked over his shoulder to watch. Matthew didn't seem to mind, so I decided to ask him questions. What the hell are you making? What are you making?
I'm going to make a large batch of strawberry cupcakes. These strawberries are going to be the top pieces.
Ooh, okay. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Can I help?
Yeah, I kind of hoped you would. Can you start by making the batter for the cupcakes? I put the ingredients and some directions on the counter over there.
Okay. I nodded before heading over to another counter where a string of ingredients and a small note card of directions sat at the ready. I smiled and began to work mixing the ingredients and pouring the batter into cupcake tins to bake. I had to admit I made a little bit of a mess, but I felt like the cupcakes were still fine. Whatever. There we go. Now we just need to wait. As I turned to face Matthew, I noticed Matthew's red face. I tilted my head before he walked over and moved his hand a bit towards my face. He stopped, however, looking at me for permission. What? Do I got something on my face? Nod to him, touch my own face. Obviously, we're gonna nod to him. Like, see? It's the obvious choice. It's like, what the hell do I got on my face? Matthew continued to move his hand towards me, gently brushing a finger over my cheek. My senses tripled, feeling his finger wipe over a small stain of powder and cream that had landed on my face. Oh, thanks. Thanks, boo.
You, got a stain.
Oh, I realized that. Matthew's finger was ginger and timid, wiping the stain off with as little contact as possible. Lightning shot through my body at each wipe, running down my spine in jolts. God damn, Hannah, you're such a thirsty, thirsty girl. Kidding. I closed my eyes, unconsciously leaning into his touch and naturally wanting more. However, Matthew pulled his hand away, causing me to open my eyes and look at him. Matthew was biting his lower lip and had pulled his hand to his chest.
Sorry, I got it all?
Okay, nervous chuckle. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was a little awkward on my part. What the hell was I doing? Matthew quickly shook his head and grinned his goofy grin at me before continuing to make another appetizer for the party. I blinked a couple of times, wondering if what I saw was real. What? Oh, and we're gonna skip on ahead. Okay, so we skipped on ahead and a whole shit ton. Malix visited us. We told him to fuck off and all this shit. We went to go make coffee or some shit. Like all those choices I already showed you guys already in past routes and previous videos. So I didn't think I would need to show them to you again. And also we found the guys outside practicing, and then we shouted hey again, and then we went back in to go make lunch, and this time we made pizza because that's the only other choice that I hadn't chosen. So yeah, pizza is always good no matter what time of day it is. Do we have any? Oh, cold. Not actual pizza, but frozen pizza. Are you kidding me? Luckily we had some pizza in the freezer to heat up pizza more. It's baked with love pizza. Wow. Had all the makings of pizza types, including pepperoni, sausage, mushrooms, and extra cheese. Just top it, bake it, and serve. I'd have to get more later. So we're probably gonna go find one of the guys, and this time we're probably gonna go find Matthew. So skipping all this dialogue, we're gonna go find one of them. I looked down each hall, trying to find one of the incubi wandering so that I wouldn't have to go through each individual room finding them. I pursed my lips in irritation. Where the hell are we gonna find Matthew? Where the heck are they? I sighed, knowing that I would have to search for them in each room. I quickly turned and headed back to the dining room one last time. When I arrived, I gasped. Oh, hey there. Matthew was crouched near the kitchen doorway, peering into it as if a rat had gotten loose in the pantry and he was the stalking exterminator. What's up? Bro, what are you doing? Matthew?
Shh.
What? God, what? What? I quickly shut my mouth and pressed my lips together in silence. Confused but fearful as to why I had to be quiet, I tiptoed to Matthew, who was crouching by the entrance to the kitchen. His gaze and head moved across the site of the kitchen, still trying to find whatever he was looking for. Oh my god, don't tell me it's that creepy ass doll that you made. Is it moving by itself? Oh my god. No, I don't want the seed of Chucky in my fucking kitchen. Get it out, get it out.
He's in
Is he? No! Matthew, look what you've done! You should have burned the thing when you had the chance. God damn it. What? Matthew's face is seriously fearful and intense. Who is freaking him out this much? The fucking rat, is it? That fucking rodent with the knife. My mind, however, instantly pinned the person down in my conclusion, Malix. No! He's too big for that. Malix, why did he come back and why was he in my kitchen? I started to freak out, remembering the fear that I had felt the first time we had met. However, I wasn't sure where were the others if it was Malix. Girl, you so dumb. It's that fucking rat.
I lost sight of him, but I quickly found him and cornered him in there. I know he's in there.
God damn it, Matthew. Like, who's in there? Hannah's. You're so dumb.
That fluffy killer thing.
I know that already. But Hannah's really dumb and she's not taking the hint. Fluffy killer thing. I bit my lips, suppressing a laugh. Once I swallowed my laughter down, I let out a sigh. You mean your cute bunny doll? Hell no. Cute?
Yeah, that thing. Wait, it's not cute?
Yeah, what he said. God, Matthew instantly regretted not whispering and covered his mouth. I could not help but giggle. God. What's he doing in the kitchen? Matthew turned to me with an expression of utmost seriousness. Something told me that what he said would be cute and funny, but I decided to bite my tongue gently to not laugh no matter what.
I don't know.
You don't. Maybe he's hungry. But seriously, I don't want him in my kitchen. I failed to keep hold of myself and started to giggle again. The thought of a doll doing anything but sitting there made me giggle. Matthew tried to hush me, waving his arms frantically to keep quiet. Matthew, Simon's a doll. It can't do anything. Hell no, it ain't just a doll. It's not a thing. It just giggled evilly when you first, made it.
You named him?
What? Of course, Simon Tabby. Cute, isn't it? What the fuck? I even named it. Matthew let out some sort of defeated whine before turning back to the kitchen, trying to find Simon from where he was. I placed our food on the table and looked as well. So what's your plan of attack?
Well, I plan to make my way through the kitchen as quietly as I can, and hopefully not get stabbed.
Not unless I stab it first. Sounds simple. Matthew nodded in agreement before finally moving from his spot and tiptoeing into the kitchen. Okay. I stood there unsure whether or not I should follow him, or I should follow suit. We should go. Join the hunt. I didn't know why I was up for this, but I followed along. The small adventurous side of me was very happy with my decision, but another side of me was questioning me, asking me why I did that. Well, I wanted to know where that little fucker is. Matthew slowly walked through the kitchen, scanning the cupboards and surfaces with a meticulous glare. It was both amusing and slightly frightening to see how serious he could be. Do all your toys get out of control like this?
No, it's just this one. I don't know why. All my other toys are okay.
Yeah, what the hell? Other toys? Matthew nodded, stopping his search to look at me.
That's what I do. Make toys. I made them for my mother all the time back in the Abyssal Plains, to help her cope with her position.
Oh, aw, aren't you sweet? Her position? What do you mean by that, yeah?
She's the fourth wife of my birth father. Each of us have a different mother, and all of them, except for Damien's, are queens. My mom, though, hates sharing, so I distracted her with toys.
She hates sharing. She's like, nah, I don't want the phone to myself, bitches! Out of my way! I didn't know what to say. A demon with multiple wives seems natural, but I guess because I was human, I felt the twinge of disgust run through my veins nonetheless. Still, it was adorable how Matthew tried to cheer his mom up with his abilities. Well, they are polygamous relationships in this weird world, so I don't know about you. I was then suddenly reminded of my grandfather and how he made toys all the time for kids. Matthew's power to make small toys instantly would have been so useful to my grandfather. Yeah. I shook my head and began to search for Simon again. Let's keep looking for Simon. Matthew nodded before joining in. I felt like I was in a comedy mystery looking for a child's toy instead of a murder weapon. Well, technically he is a murder weapon, so.
Come on out, creepy thing.
Oh my god. Its name is Simon. I don't fucking care. Matthew ignored my statement and began to slowly open the cupboards, sifting through the inside contents. I decided to follow suit, starting at the opposite end of the kitchen. I'm gonna end up finding it, aren't I? Matthew, what do we do? What do we do if we find him?
We stick him back in my pocket. And
I looked to Matthew, waiting for him to finish replying. However, he kept his eyes to the ground, trying to answer my question and remaining in thought. I continued to search the cupboards, unsure now if this plan was going to go anywhere. Why was I even doing this? Simon Tabby was a... Oh, God. What the... Oh, my God. Matthew and I scanned the kitchen frantically, searching for the source of the laugh.
I knew that thing was evil!
I knew it was too, but Hannah doesn't seem so. God. Suddenly everything went black. Did it knock me the fuck out?
Ah!
God damn it. Who turned out the lights? Oh, it probably just grabbed me and just like kind of like covered my eyes. I gripped to the nearby counter, not wanting to hit anything or fall in the darkness. There were no windows, so the room was almost completely pitch black. What the fuck? I could hear skittering across the floor like a rat rushing to escape with its cheese in mouth. Oh my god, it turned off the lights on us. Oh, okay. Never mind. God, I instantly jumped in fear before suddenly being pushed to the ground. Oh, god damn it.
Watch out!
Shit. Oh. I felt myself hit the ground with a body over top of me. 2 hands were slammed beside my head onto the tile floor, stopping the person above me from crushing me.
Hey, are you okay?
Great, I could have had a concussion, but, it's all good. Matthew? Yeah, I am. I stared up at Matthew, letting the situation sink in. We were looking for a doll, and now we were on the ground. In the dark! God. What broke my thoughts was a flash of gold running across Matthew's eyes. I could feel heat radiate from his body, but the air was tense and his body was almost shaky. Bruh, we need to get the lights back on. Seriously, I ain't about to do this. In the dark. Matthew, are you okay? Uh-huh. I heard him gulp, answering my question. He wasn't okay, I could tell, but he wasn't moving. Matthew?
Sorry.
Uh-huh. You what? Soon, a golden glow covered Matthew's eyes. I expected to feel warmth in my body from an upcoming spell, but I felt nothing. Something was wrong.
I need you to push me off.
Stop stuttering. God damn. From the sound of his voice, he was desperate to get up and off of me. Why couldn't he move, though? Then it hit me. Yeah, why couldn't we move? What's going on? Matthew, do you need energy? Oh, is that it? Oh, God. Okay. We're gonna do this. Are we gonna make out in the dark? Okay.
I do. But
God damn. My god, I'm just gonna have to grab your face in the dark and just try to kiss you. Matthew shut his eyes to try to hide his golden gaze from me. He didn't want to take my energy? Why? Was he ashamed to? Push him off, kiss him. I'm gonna try to do this. I'm off. My fucking night vision is good enough. Kiss him. If he needed energy, I was willing to give it. I just have to fucking find my way. I gently grabbed Matthew's face and tilted his head to angle with mine. Leaning in closer to him, I brought my face and lips up to his and kissed him deeply. God, wow. So accurate. I didn't know if this would help, but it was how he got energy before I shut my eyes, waiting for the draining feeling to reappear in my body. Matthew didn't move, nor did I feel energy drain from me. I opened my eyes and saw Matthew staring wide-eyed at me, but unmoving. He was unsure of what to do, and I had silenced him in confusion. It's called kissing me back. I pulled away and spoke. I want to give you some of my energy. You've used a lot of it, and I'm sure that the energy you took from me was only used for healing. Let me help you.
I don't.
Yeah, you just shut the fuck up and just kiss me already. Matthew, if you don't want my energy, just tell me, but I'm offering it to you if you do. All of a sudden, I felt that familiar feeling of warmth run through my body once again. I felt my body slightly heat up as Matthew wrapped an arm around my body and pinned my body tighter to his. Yes, finally. Matthew grew a lustful gaze before bringing a hand out to cup the back of my neck. Wow, all in the dark? Jeez. Oh, hey! Before I knew it, Matthew pulled me into a gentle but passionate kiss. He erupted through my body as his kiss slowly and almost timidly got deeper. Matthew kept an arm around my waist while I rested my hands on his chest. Okay. The energy from my body was slowly draining in the kiss, making me feel light and warm. It was almost pitiful how comfortable and how willing I was in this situation. Still, I held no regrets. I was enjoying every bit of this kiss. Matthew was full of surprises. As childish as he was, he definitely was proving to be a man while he was kissing me. Matthew wasn't forceful, but his kiss was deep and passionate, and it felt almost magical. It was how I imagined the first kiss to be like, except with energy drain. She said this before with Damien. Soon though, the energy drain stopped and Matthew gently pulled his face away to end the kiss. I stared up at him as we both panted for air. I had never kissed like that before, and I was so lost in the moment that I had forgotten how to breathe. Matthew moved a strand of my hair from my face to behind my ear, eyes still full of desire. This sounds really familiar. Deja vu! Matthew stared silently at me, unsure what to say. However, I could tell that he was full yet yearning. I could feel the hold of his mind-altering spell fade away, but I still felt hot and bothered! Something told me that I wanted more, but at the same time I wasn't sure if I truly did want to give any more. Of course we gonna do it. Stop, keep going. Keep going! I opened the opportunity and I was enjoying it as much as he was. I wanted more and I was going to let him keep going. I wanted to keep going. I leaned up and kissed him again, and Matthew gasped against my lips but continued to kiss back. Hell yeah, we're gonna make out in the dark. And this is actually pretty good because no one can see us then. I could feel him pull on the tail of my bow, releasing it and following his hand off from around my neck. He moves. Getting tongue-tied. He moved the ribbon to his pocket before gently unbuttoning the top 2 buttons of my blouse. This is the same dialogue as Damien's, I realized. The desire in my body drove me insane, forcing a moan to escape my lips as he ran kisses from my lips down to my exposed neck. Ugh! As he began to ravage my neck and shoulders in hot kisses, I leaned my head back and let a pleasureful sigh escape from my lips. Matthew was ruthless in his passionate kisses on my skin. Matthew didn't stop touching and kissing me, making more moans and gasps rush out of my mouth into the open air. He may have been full, but he was as hot as I was. And bothered! I couldn't even comprehend how much time we spent making out. I was lost in the pleasure that I didn't care. I call it sinful, but I didn't care. I loved it. His touch, his kiss, his heat. I desired it beyond anything at that moment, even as he lowered his kisses down to my chest to just above my bra. Ugh. My heart was beating wildly in my chest. Something about Matthew intrigued me immensely, but something made my heart quicken for him. It couldn't have been love, but it was too passionate to be lust. What was it? Yeah. However, I began to feel dizzy, seeing the ceiling start to spin almost wildly. I gripped to Matthew's shoulders, trying to signal him to stop, but my mind faded to black before I could let out another sound. And we passed the fuck out. I felt good. I didn't care that I was blacked out. I felt warm and fuzzy in the darkness. I never knew indulging in that kind of passion would be that good. I now just waited to awaken, hopefully in a good way. My eyes eventually fluttered open, adjusting to the sight around me. I felt familiar silks underneath me, letting me know that I was in bed. It was my bed. I slowly sat up, stretching from the tiredness that still lingered. I felt very soft pain on my neck and shoulders, and I could feel my swollen lips pulse gently in healing. However, when I looked down at my body, I saw that my shirt had been pulled back up and rebuttoned as if nothing happened between me and Matthew. I was just missing my ribbon, but it's on my pillow anyway, so I don't care. Before I turned to get out of bed, though, I swatted my ribbon on the pillow beside the one I slept on. It was tied around Simon Tabby in a nice bow with a small note attached to it. What the fuck? Simon Tabby? Are you serious? I gently slipped the note from the tie and opened it to read it.
I'm really, really, really sorry. I didn't mean for it to go that far. Please forgive me?
Nothing to sweat about, bro. I stared at the note, letting a small smile grace my lips. He went too far. I enjoyed it a lot. It was cute, though, to imagine him thanking me for something we both did and enjoyed. I brought the note to my chest, letting the memories of our meeting flood my mind. I indulged myself too, Matthew. I looked at the time out of curiosity. The large white numbers on my phone showed 5:31 p.m. Yikes, 4 hours of being knocked out, and I still feel tired. Yeah, all those exhausting activities in the kitchen floor. It was Sunday, so I was allowed to sleep longer if I wanted to. And we're gonna skip on ahead, and we're pretty sure we're gonna leave for school. And then Matthew's gonna stop us. But we already also know his true names because of the flashback we got from Damien's route. Okay, whatever. Before I could reach the handle of the door, however, someone took my hand. Huh? Hey. I turned to see Matthew, who was holding my hand back with a concerned frown on his face. What's up?
My name.
I already know it, but okay. Go on, tell me. Your name?
My true name isn't Matthew. I want you to know my real name. If something were to happen.
Okay. His true name, what did he mean? Why was he telling me this now? Matthew gently pulled me to him and leaned close to whisper in my ear.
My name is Zekeru.
Okay, cool. I already know that, but okay. As he said his name, I could feel it lock into my memory. Something in my head would make sure I would never forget it. Matthew pulled away and smiled at me despite still carrying worry in his eyes.
If you are in any danger, call my name. I promise that I'll come and help you.
Sure, I'm counting on you. I stared up at Matthew, unable to say anything. I could only nod in response. Matthew smiled before releasing my hand and heading into the dining room. Something told me that his name would be used eventually. Obviously. Okay, let's get kidnapped. Okay, let's do this. Sekeru. All of a sudden, a bright purple light engulfed the room, causing the devils around me to cover themselves. I wonder how he's gonna mess him up this time.
What the?
Ha ha ha. Yeah. Gusts of wind rushed past me, almost forcing me back. I covered my face with my arms, bracing myself and standing my ground. I tried to peek through my arms to see what was going on, but the light continued to shine brightly. Blech. As the gust slowly started to die, the light began to fade, revealing Matthew with his hands shoved in his pockets and his hood up. Oh, damn, the hood is up, which means he gonna go hood. God damn it. Matthew. Hi. Malik slowly moved his arms from his face, taking in the sight of Matthew before laughing hysterically.
Are you kidding me? You summoned the crybaby runt?
Well, he's gonna mess you up anyways, regardless, so I don't know why you're still laughing. Malik's laugh was cut short, however, stopped by his gasp of pain and the thud of something embedding itself into flesh. I couldn't believe it, but somehow a knife had been stabbed into Malik's shoulder, causing him to grip at it in pain. Damn!
What the hell? A knife?
Duh, what else do you think cut you?
Next time, I won't miss your throat.
Damn, son, he about to cut you off. See, that's why you shouldn't laugh. Malik snarled before ripping the knife out of his shoulder and tossing it to the ground. He quickly raised his gun and shot at Matthew, resulting only to stare wide-eyed at his target. In mid-air, a knife and Malik's... What? The fuck? Okay, in mid-air, a knife and Malik's bullet clashed and both collided to the ground between the demon and the devil. How big is this knife? Matthew chuckled and pulled a hand out of his pockets, revealing a handful of knives splayed out like a fan. Oh shit!
Too slow, Malix. Must suck being an old fart.
Ha ha ha. Malik instantly grew furious, charging at Matthew while shooting rounds at Matthew's shadow-covered face. Matthew followed suit, rushing backwards and shot his knives at each of Malik's shots. Each shot was stopped by a flying knife, making multiple clangs beat through the air. Wow, so accurate, much accuracy. The remaining devils stared, trying to figure out what to do, help Malik, or watch in silence. Eris, however, walked up beside me and crossed her arms as she watched him with an amused smirk on her face. Yo, she'd be waiting for this moment, I swear to God. She's just like, I need someone to just mess him up and just like fuck him over. Maybe kill him or some shit so I don't have to deal with him anymore. As Matthew backed into the far wall, he stood still, tossing knife upon knife at the incoming devil and his bullets.
Gotcha, you knife-throwing circus freak!
Ah. I I saw a smirk grow on Matthew's face before he hopped up and flipped over Malix. The devil skidded to a stop, barely bumping into the brick wall. Matthew, however, didn't give Malix a chance to turn before shooting multiple knives into Malix's back. Damn. Yo.
Bye-bye, Malix.
Bye! Matthew tossed a knife into the air and caught it before chucking it at the back of Malix's head. Wow, shit. The knife sadly didn't get to meet its target. Aw. As Malix ducked out of the way and turned to face Matthew with a face of pure rage.
You little shit. You think you're all that?
Well, yeah. Matthew brought out another knife and tossed it up and down in his hand, unchanged in his cool yet almost playful expression.
Little known fact, I just like having fun.
That's a load of bull, Matthew. You won't even fight me in your demon form. Why? Are you afraid I'll kill you as the demon scum you really are?
Nah, he don't need to. He don't need to turn into his demon form because you're just a little bitch. Demon form? I didn't understand. However, Matthew broke my thoughts from trying to figure that out.
Hey, mind closing your eyes for me?
Why? Huh?
What are you babbling about now?
Before I could answer, the tension suddenly went from warm to almost ice cold. Then, at that moment, something in the air changed. The air instantly went from frantic to still in energy. What could have been described in tone as the color red quickly turned into a deadly mix of purple and blue as everything began to blend together all at once.
You asked for it, Malix. Now you're gonna get it.
Yay! My eyes never strayed from Matthew's face, however, even as it changed. His eyes began to glow a bright golden color as a dark blue circle formed underneath Matthew's bare feet. What? I stared at Matthew's skin began to morph and shift, changing from human to something else. For some reason, I was both scared and incredibly intrigued to see this new form. He's evolving! Aww! Oh well, we already saw his true form anyways in that flashback, whatever. Before I was allowed to see Matthew's new form, however, a pair of hands quickly covered my eyes. Instinctively, I reached up and gripped them, trying to pull them off. A voice stopped me.
It's me. Don't look.
Hi, Damien. I listened carefully and let the last two words linger in my mind. Don't look. Why? What was being hidden from me? I wanted to know, but something told me to obey Damien's command. I suddenly heard gunshots making me tense up, and then I heard the sound of multiple stabs, followed by Malix's screams of pain. The stabbing and splashing sounds of blood and flesh grew more frantic and in number. However, how many knives was Matthew using? A shit ton. Maybe it was better that I wasn't able to see. Okay.
Matthew, enough!
Nah. Almost instantly after James's command, the sound stopped. The only thing anyone could hear then was the dripping of blood.
I guess I went a little overboard.
Malix is definitely dead, but you've lost your glamour spell.
A glamour spell? What did he mean? Why did Matthew sound so different? Why was this being hidden from me?
It's a spell that makes us look human.
Look, I froze. Look human? They didn't have human forms after all? What did they look like?
Like demons.
So vague. As if Eric knew what Damien was talking about, Eric cleared his throat and spoke up, followed by the sound of a cork popping out of a bottle.
Well, not for much longer, Princess. Here, Matthew.
Oh, hey, you found my potion. Thanks.
I could hear the small clinking of glass begin. I could hear the small clinking of glass being passed before hearing Matthew guzzle down a liquid of some sort. The feel of the air around me gently began to warm back up, insinuating that everything had been returned to normal. Finally, Damien moved his hands from my eyes, allowing me to see around me once again. The devils, including Ares, had fled. On top of Malix's body was a dirty sheet that was quickly turning red from blood. The wall behind it was painted red in blood, still dripping onto the floor and onto the blanket. Damn! You got messed the fuck up, son! Rest in pieces. Literally. The blanket looked like it was covering a mound of dirt instead of a body. However, the boys, had gathered around me, all of them, including Matthew, looking like nothing had happened. Oh, I tried to speak, but everything zipped around in my head at the whole event, and I felt like speaking was impossible.
Let's just get you home, miss. There's nothing more to see here.
Okay. I could only nod. What had happened boggled my mind to the point of disbelief. I was second-guessing everything, lost in the sea of what and how and when. As I walked out of the warehouse, I looked to Matthew for some form of sign that I wasn't dreaming. Matthew rubbed the back of his neck, walking forward as if to get away from what had happened. Whatever. Okay, let's skip on ahead. Okay, so instead of the rest of the guys well, Damien and James already did. This time it's Matthew who steps up into say his 2 cents on wanting to stay with us because we're madly in love with each other. I looked at Matthew, feeling my heart flutter in my chest. I didn't want him to leave, but when he asked to stay, I hoped that he would say no and ask me to stay longer. As if he knew what I wanted, Matthew moved and stepped to me, taking my hand in his. He gently smiled at me and spoke.
I want you to know that you've been really generous to us, and I want to thank you for letting us stay here. But is it okay if we stay a little longer?
Hell yeah! My heart skipped while a large red blush ran across my cheeks. The boys stared at Matthew wide-eyed but didn't dare to speak out. Matthew stepped back to give me space, returning to where he was. I moved my gaze across each boy, trying to make a decision, and you're gonna say yeah. We're gonna say yeah. That's it, yeah. I wanted them to stay. I wanted him to stay. I merely smiled, staring at the man I had come to have feelings for before speaking at last. I would love it if you could all stay. Actually, we're going to skip this part too. There we go. I watched a happy smile grow onto Matthew's lips. He shared my excitement knowing that we would be together longer. Who knew how long we would stay together? All I cared about was that I would be with him. The others quickly left to finally rest, leaving me and Matthew alone at last. My heart fluttered a bit as Matthew practically skipped closer to me in excitement. It was really cute to see him that way, so I didn't do anything but smile.
Thank you so much for letting us stay.
Don't mention it. You're welcome, Matthew. I'm happy to have you stay here. I watched his smile brighten a bit before he cleared his throat and chuckled a bit. I didn't know if it was the tiredness or my growing attachment to him, but I felt myself sway a bit on my feet. However, Matthew's face made it clear that he wanted to say something else, making me forget that my bed was also calling for me.
Listen, about what happened at the warehouse.
It's all cool. I don't give a shit. Seriously. No, it's fine. You did what you had to do. I understand. I had accepted everything that happened and knew that Matthew had to do what he had to do. He was real and he was someone I didn't want to be without, even if that meant nodding against my curiosity. Besides, I was too tired to explore that memory further. Matthew nodded before holding out a hand to me.
Come on then. Let's get you to bed.
Yes, I want to pass the fuck out. I nodded before Matthew gently lifted me up into his arm like a bride and carried me to my room. I didn't want to leave his arms, leaning my head against Matthew's chest. But eventually, I was slowly lowered to my bed and covered with my bed covers. I was still in my school clothes, but I was too tired to strip or care. I looked to Matthew, fighting a yawn from escaping me as he gently ran a hand over my hair.
Have a good night, okay?
Yeah.
I'll make breakfast again in the morning.
Okay, thank you. I nodded with a tired smile before watching him slowly stand and leave my room, closing the door. A wave of happiness washed over me as I laid in bed. I made a good choice. Sure, it would be hard, but I could tell that I would be able to manage it. Help around the house and being with a man whom I was slowly starting to fall for would be worth it. Of course, until Diana shows up. And we're gonna skip on ahead. Okay, so we skipped on ahead. Diana obviously shows up, threatens us, but we tell her to the boys, and she shows up again, and then she tried to convince him, but they're like, hell no, fuck you. So she leaves, and then here we are with Matthew instead of one of the other two guys that we remember. So Matthew walked over to me and held my hand gently, looking at me with a smile.
Everything will be okay. Promise.
Okay. I nodded, feeling that he was telling the truth, or at least a hopeful and comforting thought, and smiled back. Matthew gently leaned close to me and kissed my cheek, however, making me blush and forget what I was thinking about. The sound of collective chuckles and playful snickers whispered through the air, making me blush even more, but the laughter stopped as Sam let out an oof after a fluffy object collided with his face. I looked up to see Matthew was glaring at his brothers, holding up a fluffy anime plushie. And he and I pulled away from each other just as the sound of nervous. Alright, we're gonna skip on ahead. We skipped on ahead. Diana hijacked our classroom again, told us about the Little Mermaid, and so we are here. So instead of uttering either Damien or James, we're gonna say Matthew. Suddenly, Diana stopped in her tracks.
Matthew? Who is...
It then dawned on her.
Ah, one of the boys. Why don't you tell me which boy is Matthew?
Ugh. I felt myself nod in compliance. The fourth. The fourth? Okay. Diana giggled in reply before letting go of my face and stepping back.
Really? The child? with you.
But he's technically not the youngest. I nodded once again, but this time it was partly on my own decision to reply. Diana let out a sound that mimicked a cat's purr before stepping away from me.
Alright then. Well, if it's the fourth son you're infatuated with, you should really rethink your romantic options.
Why? You're supposed to marry James anyways! God damn it. Was Matthew like the second option? Fucking Christ. Anyways, we're gonna skip on ahead. Okay. I feel like this episode is gonna be really short because I'm gonna cut out like a shit ton of other things because a lot of the dialogues were the same, and also the dialogues that kind of didn't skip over it was basically in the same wording except it was replaced by Matthew's name. So I'm just gonna I don't know, should I cut it here because I feel like, oh my god, I don't fucking know. I don't even fucking know. Okay, you know what? Let's keep going. Let's keep going. After what seemed like hours, I finally woke up slightly refreshed. My body knew that if I slept any longer, I'd be up all night, which was not part of the plan for the day. So this is after the whole thing of the flashback that we had, and instead of Damien doing the whole, or instead of James saying to trust Damien, it was Matthew that said to trust Damien. But we still, either way, we got the flashback. We got why the boys wanted to. The boys pass and why and how they decide to come to the human world. Anyways, so we passed out and then we woke up again because that drained us a lot of our energy. I rubbed my eyes and sat up. Letting a soft groan escape from my lips. In response, something beside my bed shuffled, causing me to look over. So I'm pretty sure it's Matthew. I didn't know what I was expecting. Hey! Beside me, sitting in a chair beside the bed, was Matthew, rousing himself up to see me awake. I smiled at him, seeing his slightly ruffled hair and tired eyes.
Oh, you're awake. How do you feel?
I feel great. Better, fine. I feel better. I feel fine. I feel better. Matthew nodded before he looked down at the bed, taking my hand into his.
I'm really sorry. I'm really, really sorry.
You need to stop apologizing. Like, seriously. It's like a Canadian thing to do. Matthew, it's not your fault.
No, please listen. I know that Diana and Malix have come after you because of us. So it's our fault that you're constantly in danger.
I don't really care. It's not like either of them can do shit to me. I totally would have beat up Malice. But, I left it for you to you because, I #trust you and shit.
If I hadn't convinced everyone to come to the human world, we would have never been attacked by Malix and hunted down and brought you in danger and...
Shush, just hush. Hush, child. I quickly reached over and put my finger on his lips, stopping him from going any further. I didn't want to hear anymore. Matthew, it's okay. I wanted to help you out. I offered to let you all stay. Nothing is your fault. I gently moved my hand and cupped Matthew's cheek, staring at him with concern. I didn't want him to hold guilt in his mind about this whole ordeal. Diana was desperate and she'd hunt anyone for them. It wasn't his fault she was desperate enough to hunt them down. Yeah. However, I grew curious. So Matthew, you're a noble? Matthew looked at me and gave me a goofy smile.
I was once, but even if I had the title, I didn't really feel like a noble.
Yeah. How come?
Well, I was the fourth noble son of the Demon Lord. With Eric and Sam ahead of me in case James couldn't fulfill his duties, there was no way I was getting the throne. So I spent the majority of my time trying to make my mother happy. She was always unhappy.
Aww. Unhappy? How come?
Well, my dad was kind of... well, he married 4 different women. Each of us came from a different mother, and my mother was the last to be married and bear a son. The thing with succubi, though, is that they get jealous very easily.
I see. So what happened?
The other wives got mad and scorned each other. It wasn't violent, but we never ate together for a reason.
That's so funny. It's just like, bitch, get the fuck away from my man. I was here first. It's like, nah, bitch. I can just imagine the whole dispute. It's just really funny. Okay, anyways.
My mom, though, was too proud to have jealousy. She was the last woman the Demon Lord married, so she felt important. She felt that because he stopped marrying, she had the charm to stop his marrying spree.
Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. That would make sense. Matthew let out a small laugh, a hint of depression lingering in the breath he let out.
But then the Demon Lord took another woman and she bore him a son outside of wedlock. Damien.
Oh, wait.
The wives, including my mother, were furious. In response, the Demon Lord had a spell cast on them, turning them into spiritual orbs.
Oh shit! Damn. Alright. I totally. Oh my god, yeah, I totally forgot that like Damon's mother was like a harem girl. Right. Damn. That's horrible. He's like, shit, I'm so sick of dealing with all y'all. I'm just gonna turn you into spirit orbs. Just like there. Matthew nodded, pressing his lips together in both agreement and sadness.
They could never have physical form, and they lost all their powers. They became slaves trapped in the Demon Lord's castle. However, they were kept alive to make sure their sons grew up to be competent demons.
Wow, damn, that's harsh. Yeah, that's a little bit, damn. I'm sorry. Matthew gently shrugged, letting a small nostalgic smile grace his lips.
She taught me how to be a demon, though. Not just a demon, a grown, adult demon. I read books, I learned strategy, everything that James was doing under the Demon Lord's watch. Only, I trained with just my mother.
Damn, then your mom's a badass.
She wanted me to surprise the Demon Lord one last time, and maybe take the throne away from James.
But you're like, nah, I ain't about that life. Matthew then reached into his pocket and took out a small mirror. Oh.
Here, I'll show you.
Ooh, flashback! Matthew handed it to me and sent a wave of blue mist into it. It began to glow until it enveloped the room in a bright light. Ooh. When the light had subsided, I was back in the main hall of the demon castle. I looked around, feeling unable to move, but I could practically see everything as clear as I had before. However, my focus gathered on Matthew, sitting on the throne as if it was his and reading a book. For some reason, Matthew reminded me of James at that moment. He seemed engrossed in his reading each word and absorbing each meaning. Him on the throne surprisingly fit him. There was something about him.
This is an easy read.
A saddened cry, however, echoed through the hall, forcing Matthew to stop, close the book, and stand from the throne. Oh.
Mother?
Oh. I looked around, confused at the cry and where it was coming from. It seemed to just echo through the room without any source of direction. Matthew sighed and placed the book on the armrest of the throne before he cupped his hands together.
Fly and comfort her, will you?
As Matthew opened up his hands, a small bird with blue and purple feathers perked up from the hiding place. Matthew smiled before releasing it into the air. I watched as it flew off and glided through an open archway. The sound of its flapping wings faded into the air as it flew farther into the castle.
Come on.
I could tell that Matthew was holding his breath. He must have cared very deeply for his mother. It was incredibly sweet. Oh. At last, the sound of the crying stopped, making Matthew release a happy sigh.
There we go.
Oh. Matthew cracked his knuckles in approval and reached for his book. However, before he could even graze the cover with his finger, the sound of pattering entered the room. What?
You! Fourth son! Away from the throne!
This bitch.
All right.
What am I going to do with you? You're a child.
Matthew glared at the servant as the servant quickly brushed the throne off like there was dust all over it.
The next time I see you on the throne, I will inform the Demon Lord. Understand?
You need to back the fuck off, man.
Yes.
Yeah, gosh. The demon servant continued to brush over the throne before knocking the book from the armrest. Matthew froze as the servant quickly patted over and picked it up.
What is this? A book? Why do you have it?
Yeah, I was reading it, dumb bitch.
I was reading.
You read? You don't need to read. You're never going to need knowledge for anything, fourth son.
Aw, you bitch. I saw Matthew's eyes twitching, making me grimace. The servant sure had a mouth. It was annoying at the very least.
I'll just take this book and bring it to the heir himself to read. He's reading faster than the library can provide.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. Can you just leave already?
But that's...
Raestro's next area of study.
The servant began to walk away, ignoring Matthew's glare of anger. The servant stopped, however, to look to Matthew to pound one more nail into the wound.
Let's face it, kid. You have the smallest horns, the smallest frame, and the least amount of power among the noble sons. You'll never be like them, so just stop trying.
Use your incubus powers on others who have a child fetish or something.
Oh, hell no. He did not just go there. Oh my god, you need to, someone needs to just, like, incinerate him. The demon looked at Matthew up and down before rushing off wherever he came from. As the servant disappeared, Matthew summoned a knife and chucked it in the direction where the servant left. The knife embedded itself into the hard stone beside the door into the hall.
Hate that guy. Disgusting pig fawn.
Matthew walked over and sat on the foot of the throne, clearly aggravated. Damn. Eventually, Matthew stopped the magic, lowering the mirror and holding it in his hand before looking to me.
I had hoped to show you my mother, but I guess the mirror wanted to show you something else. Sorry.
Oh. was that so? Oh, okay. That servant is terrible. Yeah.
Tell me about it. He served the Demon Lord almost his whole life. Ugly pig fawn.
Yeah. Matthew laughed while I laughed at the insult. It was good to see Matthew in good spirits despite what was shown and what was happening around us. Still, it was sad to see that he was considered the child of the noble sons. He could read books of knowledge that his brother hadn't read, and he seemed caring. It was insulting to see someone tear him down like that. Matthew smiled at me before pocketing the mirror.
Whatever. Thankfully, we got out of there, so I could be with my brothers like a normal family. No hierarchies, no politics, no pig funds, nothing.
Yeah. I smiled. It was good that he saw the positive side. However, his face slowly turned to a sad one before he looked down at the bed. Matthew?
You've done a lot for me and my brothers. Sheltering us, letting us continue to live here. It may not seem like much, but for us it's everything.
Yeah, I could tell. Your life was pretty shitty back then.
But I don't want you to get hurt because of us.
Ah, it's fine. I can handle myself. Jeez, you need to have more faith in me. I watched in speechless silence as Matthew lifted his head, his eyes full of almost hopelessness.
That's why I'm sorry.
That's fine, God. Matthew lowered his head in shame. I couldn't help but feel my heart squeeze within my chest at the sight. He truly cared. Hugs! Matthew let out a small sigh before looking to me with a new smile. He hid his sadness well, but I could tell he was still upset about the whole ordeal.
Alright. You need to sleep and I need to make dinner. I'll wake you up when dinner is done.
Is Diana gonna interrupt my sleep, though? Matthew gently pressed me back down onto the bed, resolved in what had happened. Smile, steal kiss. I will go steal kiss. We won't do it. I couldn't let him leave without doing something. I quickly pulled Matthew down to me, lifted my head, and gently kissed him, softly laying a hand on his cheek to keep his face close. Matthew stared in deep surprise before hesitantly kissing me back, caressing my cheek and slightly melting at the touch of our lips. Yeah! A soft sigh escaped his lips before he slowly pulled away with a smile. He gently licked his lips, making me go red in the face at this simple gesture. He let out a satisfied sigh before nuzzling my forehead.
Go to sleep.
Nah, Diana's gonna show up. She's gonna interrupt my sleep. That bitch. And with that, he stood up and left the room, leaving me to rest as per his request. I smiled to myself before relaxing into the mattress. I suddenly tensed up. I felt majorly uneasy. Something wasn't right. I felt it in my core. She must be here. The thought of her in the house infuriated me beyond belief. I had to make sure she was not here. I rolled out of bed and quickly left my room, wandering the halls and listening closely. She was a demon, but I was listening very intently. There was no way she would have been able to sneak up on me. I know you're here. Where are you? I could feel myself growl. It wasn't a matter of fear that she'd take away the boys anymore. Her very existence had lit a fire of rage within my gut, which only grew as each day went by. This feud was getting on my nerves, and I knew it would not end well for one of us. And that's Diana. I ain't about to go down, not without a fight. I wasn't going to lose to that demon bitch. Exactly. Like, leave me alone. God. See, Diana, no one wants you. My heart stopped. Diana was with Matthew. My mind flew into slow motion, playing fake images of Diana trying to seduce Matthew in my head to further fan the angry flame inside of me. I instinctively followed Matthew's voice. I was approaching the grand lobby and followed the commotion to the dining room. The sound was echoing from the kitchen, so I peeked inside while hiding around the corner. I almost growled at the sight. Matthew was holding to one side of the kitchen's island counter, with Diana holding the other side, looking to him with a smirk.
Oh, come on, Matthew. Don't you like games? A game of tag sounds so fun.
Not with you. Now go away!
Leave me the fuck alone.
I'm hurt. Wounded, truly. Did I go too far?
went too far when you came here and attacked her.
Exactly.
Pity. And here I thought I was going to offer you the chance to become something better than just a simple incubus.
Don't listen to her. What was Diana going on about? More than just an incubus, she was insane.
How about becoming the next demon lord?
But you had to marry me. And it's like, no, fuck that. I froze. What does she mean? Becoming the next demon lord? The boys weren't in the demon world anymore. They had no claim to the throne anymore. Matthew stared at Diana, which made me worried.
The next demon lord?
Well, currently, I'm the contracted bride to the heir to the throne. Since the throne is open, it's available to any son of the demon lord's line.
Don't do it. See, I told you. He's like, yeah, you can do that. You can become the next demon lord. You just have to marry me. And it's like, nah. Nah.
Think about it. You'll gain the throne, the land, and a bride to continue your lineage with. Doesn't that sound like a perfect life for an incubus like you? You'll show your father and mother how grown up you are. That you're not just some little cute boy people can take for granted.
Don't listen to her. I could feel myself gripping my fist tightly in anger. How dare this girl try to convince Matthew to return to the demon world? He ran away from it. He didn't have to go back. He shouldn't go back. We're gonna bust up in here. My mind began to wander, imagining him saying yes. He would leave and the brothers would follow to bring him back. They'd be trapped because Diana would make sure they could never leave. Matthew would be the new demon lord with Diana as his queen, and I'd lose him.
Like I would believe you.
Yeah.
You don't need to believe me, Matthew. You just need to come back home with me. I promise. You'll be respected as you were supposed to be.
Don't do it.
I'm not falling for it.
Exactly.
Fall for what? The truth? The truth is that your brothers still treat you like a child, even though the demon world is far behind you. The truth is that your little human love affair is fleeting. She can never see you as a man, just as a little boy who wants to grow up.
That's a total lie. You don't know me like that. How dare you?
Stop it!
I stared as Matthew chuckled. Chuck. Why would you do that? I stared as Matthew chucked a handful of knives at Diana, who ducked and dodged them with ease. God damn. They dug themselves into the tile wall before fading away as if they didn't exist. Dude, I'm gonna leave a scratch. Don't do that to my kitchen.
You dare attack me?
Duh. I do it too.
I'm not going back. And that is final!
I could see Matthew's muscle tense and flex, wanting to attack Diana. The girl in question, however, took a deep breath and looked to Matthew with a pleading look.
You won't even return to your mother? She's been crying ever since you left.
Oh shit, no.
Do not bring her into this!
Matthew glared as Diana circled the island towards him.
She begged me to bring you back. She wants you to get what you deserve. The throne.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, nah. Matthew then walked away from Diana, heading to the fridge to start dinner, as if she wasn't there. Diana stopped and leaned against the counter.
She'll never love you.
When am I gonna bust up in here and just smack this bitch up?
I don't mind. I care for her.
The human girl? You must be joking. A human like her can't possibly provide you what you need. She's a human. You're a demon.
Look at her just talking shit about me like she know me like that. Well, you don't. I felt the urge to storm in and shut her mouth. It would give away my position, but I was growing extremely tired of Diana. Yes! Bust up in there! Bust up in there! Bitch. I decided to be assertive and quickly stepped into the room, rushing to be in front of Matthew. Diana and Matthew looked at me in surprise as I glared daggers at Diana. Get out.
Well, little human. You're awfully nosy in business that doesn't concern you.
This does concern me. Yeah, it does concern me.
Does it? I don't think a human would understand the importance of this affair.
Well, shut the fuck up. You're asking him to leave to be someone he doesn't want to be. That's not going to happen.
Oh? And what makes you so sure about that?
Man, it's going down exactly like how James went down. I love him! Diana stared in shock at my exclamation. Was it not what she expected? I didn't care what she expected. I wasn't going to lose the man I had grown to love.
You love him?
Yeah. Yes, I love him. Diana's lips twitched, the edges curling into an amused smirk as she stared at me.
So what? A human's love isn't enough to understand the situation. A demon can never reciprocate human feelings.
Watch. To both of our surprise, however, Matthew stepped forward and put an arm around me, pulling me close to his body.
I love her.
Yay! I saw the confidence Diana had shatter in her eyes as she stared at Matthew at his words. I could see the struggle in her face to try and find some weakness in Matthew, in me, anything.
A demon love a human. Impossible.
Well, it's right here.
You heard me. I love her, Diana. I'd do anything for her, and she cares for me more than anyone in the abyssal plane ever had. More than you'll ever know. She makes me feel like the adult I'm supposed to be, and there's nothing you can do to change that. Ever.
Boosh. Now, get the fuck out. Diana took a step back, physically feeling the sting of Matthew's words in her chest. She had lost, I could see it in her eyes. Diana's eyes grew dull as she glared at me and Matthew. It seemed almost uncharacteristic of her, yet it was something I wasn't surprised to see come from her face.
Very well. Fine. Valid.
Bye. And with that, Diana faded into the ground into a purple pentagram, crossing her arms and almost looking upset. Matthew and I were then left alone, left with the silence of the room. I finally let out the air I was unconsciously holding in my chest, relaxing from the ordeal. Matthew stepped to me and held me gently, surprising me.
Are you all
I'm
right?
great. I never felt so empowered. I nodded in response, unable to speak so immediately after being surprised. Matthew let out a sigh, relaxing in the embrace. I gently placed my hands around him, returning the embrace slightly. I could hear Matthew's heartbeat. He held me close in his arms, and I felt safe beyond words. Are you okay?
Of course I'm okay. I'm holding you.
Doll. I looked up at Matthew, surprised at what he said. Matthew blushed, moving a strand of my hair from my face to look down at me.
You mean so much to me. You make me feel like more than just a kid. I've never felt this happy before with anyone. And here you are giving me every reason to love you.
Aw, hell yeah, 'cause I'm that great.
I love you so friggin' much.
I love you so friggin' much, too. I stared wide-eyed, blushing like a maniac. Was this real? No way. This couldn't be real. Was Matthew confessing to me, confessing his love for me? Well, he said he loves you really friggin' much, so I don't know. Matthew gently caressed my cheek, staring into my eyes with a loving, almost a hopeful expression. The warmth of his hand invited me to nuzzle into it, closing my eyes. This wasn't a dream. My heart was pounding hard enough where I was sure Matthew could hear it. Matthew gently leaned in, closing his eyes. He stopped, however, remaining just a mere tortuous inch away from my lips. He wanted me to show my feelings for him. He had left himself open for me to kiss him or leave him empty. We're gonna kiss him. We're gonna kiss the piss out of him. The power I had was unbelievable. Kiss him! I loved him and wanted to give him exactly what he wanted. We're not doing this on the kitchen floor. You better bring me to a goddamn bed like James did. I gently leaned in, letting my lips finally touch his gingerly, I gently leaned in, letting my lips finally touch his gingerly. Matthew let out almost a surprised gasp against my lips before wrapping both his arms around my waist, pulling me close to him. I moved my arms up around his neck, feeling the kiss between us deepen to a heated height. My chest was pounding, making me feel and see fireworks in my mind. Matthew was everything I desired. He was the man I wanted, demon or not. It was also supernatural. It was so all supernatural to fall in love with someone so quickly. Maybe it was a sense of Maybe it was the sense magic I was thrown into. Maybe it was Cupid playing with my heart. Either way, I found myself melting at the thought of him being with me. Same dialogue. I found myself combing my fingers through Matthew's hair, making the man holding me softly tremble at my touch. He gently nibbled my lower lip, asking me to deepen the kiss between us even further. I easily teased him before finally opening my mouth slightly for him. His tongue gently danced with mine as one of his hands slid up my back and cradled my neck. He gently leaned my body back, making me cling to him as the heat of our kiss rose higher and higher. I'm really hungry though. Gently though, Matthew slowed the kiss down and pulled away, staring down at me. His eyes burned for me, wanting me to melt and buckle into his arm. I could feel myself melt already. Matthew opened his mouth to speak, but as a very small blush ran along his cheek, he was reduced to shy silence. I stared as he tried to find the words to say in my eyes. I knew exactly what he wanted. He did need energy, though, right? I still don't think we're not gonna do this on the kitchen floor, right? Yeah. Are you horny?
No, I just...
Nah. I stared wide-eyed, feeling a blush on my cheeks grow. He didn't say anything more, but I knew what words would have followed if he continued. He wanted me. I was stunned. Was I that appealing to him? Was his passion really that deep for me? So deep, like anchor deep. Matthew gently nuzzled my forehead, losing the blush and finally being able to speak.
If you don't want to, we don't have to. I mean, it's up to you.
Ah ha ha. Oh, hell yeah, I will. I could feel my mind go numb and purr at the idea a moment with an incubus. He was a demon of sex, the purest form of lust and desire. My world would rock and I would enjoy every second of it. At the same time, I was indeed inexperienced. Diana wasn't wrong when she claimed me to be innocent. Did I want to give that innocence to him, especially this early? I found myself forgetting the words yes and no. What could I say to him? I knew then what I wanted, but how to say it without breaking the moment. Seduce me! Seduce me! Do it! I couldn't believe the two words that came out of my mouth. It made the most sense to tell him yes. I needed him. I wanted him. Those two words must have made something in him finally break. Yes! Commence the sexy time! Matthew gently wrapped his arms around me and went back to kissing me passionately. I could feel energy whiz about me, making me open one eye to see blue light glowing around us. What? Woo! Yay! Brownie points! When the light subsided, I was in my bedroom on my bed with Matthew above me. I stared as Matthew held a look of both lust and love. My heart skipped a beat simply from his gaze on me. This was okay. I wanted to see all of him and give myself to him. I gently guided his head to me, kissing him slowly and bringing him further into the mood. Ooh. Matthew slid both his hoodie and his shirt off and tossed them to the side before cradling my head in his hands and kissing me deeply. I felt heat rise to my body, making me undo the tie underneath my collar and release the buttons on my own shirt. Just rip it off, just like Hulk's, like whoosh. Quickly, I removed my shirt and vest, making Matthew stop kissing me and stare in slight surprise. I was simply in a bra, but I could feel a blush invade my cheeks. My shy side began to fester in my mind. Did I really want this? To undress before a demon? No, this was the man I loved, and yet I felt my innocence drape over me in almost shame. I needed to fight it. I quickly rolled both of us over to where I was sitting on Matthew's lap. Oh, damn! Staring down at him, Matthew sat up, looking up at me with one of the most sexiest smiles I had ever seen. We gonna be on top. You wanna be on top? Matthew pulled me close, knowing I was still shy, and began to kiss my lips over and over. Each kiss was his promise to keep me safe, keep me comfortable, love me like you do, love me like you do. I kept my arms wrapped around Matthew, taking each kiss he gave and giving him my own kisses in return. I didn't know if it was the fact we were both top nude, I didn't know if it was the fact we were both top nude, or maybe I just craved his touch, but I didn't want to let him go. Of course not. However, as he held me, I could slightly feel the shiver of his hands. Was I his first? I guess so. He wasn't going to tell me he wanted me to enjoy this moment, but he was afraid of screwing up. His shivering hands showed me his emotions perfectly. As he laid me down and knelt over me, Matthew smiled and finally embraced me as we both desired. The pleasure between us would be the pleasure between us would be heavenly, and we'd go through it together. I closed my eyes and gave myself to Matthew. Woo, okay. I'm getting really tired of reading the same dialogue, you guys. Okay, so, yeah. There we go, okay. I nuzzled my head under Matthew's chin as he held me close.
I love you.
I love you too. Thank you. I love you too. Just to hear those words from Matthew's mouth made my heart flutter. To hear me answer made my soul warm in glee. Ugh. Yes, best sleep ever had. Yes, 10 out of 10 would do again. When I opened my eyes, I found myself staring into Matthew's bare chest. I blushed, but looked up to see Matthew still sleeping. His sleeping face made me giggle softly, but the reality of the situation made my heart flutter. I couldn't believe it. I was lying next to the man I had grown to love with all my heart. His warm embrace made me feel safe, and the tender moment we just shared replayed in my head. I couldn't help but smile and snuggle into his chest further. Unconsciously, he held me tighter to his body, giving me more of his warmth. I didn't want to move, but then my core suddenly tightened and made me sit up without waking the man next to me. I felt my legs move and bring me to my balcony window, where I opened the glass and stepped out onto the patio. Hi, Diana. What do you want? I stared wide-eyed at Diana, who sat cross-legged on the railing of my balcony with her glowing red eyes stare upon me. I opened my mouth to object, but Diana stopped me.
Before you get all huffy, I didn't come here to take your precious man away.
Okay, then what did you come here to do?
By the way, how was it exactly? Demons are the best lovers, after all.
It was bomb. I glared. What do you want, Diana?
Well, I just wanted to see how you truly feel. You know, without him around to influence you.
Okay, what do you want? Just quick. Make it quick. What are you talking about?
I'm giving you an opportunity to come clean about these feelings of yours and to give you your salvation.
Uh-huh. What was Diana up to? This was beyond crazy. Nothing she had done made sense. Why was I still alive at this rate? What's keeping you from just killing me and taking them? Oh my god.
You are not worth my
Can I
time.
skip? Okay, so basically Diana made the same offer that she made when we were doing James's route. And yeah, we obviously were gonna say no to that. So we skipped on ahead a whole thing where she's doing her monologue. It's like, yeah, so the boys left, James took over the company, blah 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 blah. So anyways, here we are. One afternoon, a good couple of years after the boys and I had met, I had a moment to myself. So I wandered my house and took in all that had happened as if it was all a dream. Demons doubled the magic. It was all surreal to believe. It almost frightened me to think that it could have all been a dream. But the warm feeling in my heart reminded me that it was all real. The demons, the magic, the love I had, all real. I smiled as I held my hands to my chest, relishing in the feelings dancing within my soul. I let out a happy sigh before looking up and seeing where I had wandered to. I realized that I was standing in the dining room. I stopped at the smell of baked goods. Taking a gigantic whiff, I let the smell of sugar and sweets fill my senses. What's cooking? Matthew must be baking again. I tipped over and peeked into the kitchen, wanting to know what he was making. What you making?
Almost done.
What you doing? I watched as Matthew started to decorate an already wonderful-looking cake with blue and white frosting. It looked delicious. I was practically salivating. However, as I watched him, I smiled. He looked so concentrated on his work, it was adorable.
And there! Perfect!
Matthew stepped back from the cake, allowing me to see his masterpiece. It indeed was perfect. I wanted a taste, and soon. This looks amazing. That looks amazing, Matthew. Hi. Matthew quickly turned to me in surprise, trying to hide the cake as I laughed.
I'm not done. I mean...
Nah. Matthew. I walked over and smiled, giving him a kiss before walking around him to the cake. Closer, it looks all the more scrumptious. What is this for?
Well, I mean, it's for something pretty important.
Really? Am I missing an anniversary date? A birthday? I looked to Matthew, raising an eyebrow as he wrapped an arm around my waist. What is it for?
Guess. I'll give you 3
Oh, fuck. Don't do this to me. Or what? What if I don't get it right?
Then the cake is
No!
all mine.
My cake! Okay. Hey, no fair. Instinctively, I wanted to pull away, but Matthew laughed and dabbed some whipped cream on my nose from a nearby decorating spatula. Hey.
It's totally fair. Now just guess.
Is it your birthday? Matthew shook his head. Damn it. Oh, fuck.
Nope. Second
Fuck.
guess.
Is it an anniversary? Matthew nodded but before I could cheer, Matthew rotated his hand, gesturing me to continue. Yeah, okay. What anniversary for what? Oh shit. When we first met, right?
Anniversary of?
When we first met. I puffed my cheeks. I could memorize facts and lessons, but dates were bad. It was like asking a girly girl when her boyfriend's frat party was. Matthew laughed before he kissed my cheek, making my puffed cheeks deflate.
It's the anniversary of when we first...
Yes! I got it! See? I'm not that bad, okay? I had practically forgotten he was right. It had been a couple years since I moved in and met Matthew and his brothers. He threw a party last year for it. How could I have forgotten? Time definitely flew. Matthew smiled at me, making my heart flutter and squeeze once again.
I want to celebrate it every year in a different way. Next year will be something extraordinary. For now, though, this cake will do.
Okay. I quickly pulled Matthew's head down with my hand and kissed him sweetly, wanting to show my appreciation with a kiss. He stared at me as if his greatest wish had come true. I fought back a giggle at the sight. Matthew gently pulled me to him, hugging me to his chest. I nuzzled into Matthew's chest, hearing his gentle heartbeat and memorizing its tempo.
I love you.
Thank you. I love you too. Before I could finish, suddenly the cake, which had been sitting silently and peacefully on the counter, exploded into a giant mess on it. What the hell? Matthew luckily was quick enough to pull us back before we got hit with flying cake pieces. The fuck, man? I looked at the cake to see a very mischievous little creature standing over the cake, triumphant at what it had done. Oh my god! I began to laugh as Matthew grew red-faced.
Simon Tabby!
I quickly rushed over and grabbed Simon, who made a squeak noise in my hands. I was still giggling as Matthew came over and glared daggers at the white doll covered in cake. To calm Matthew down, however, I stretched up on my toes and kissed him softly on the lips. Matthew stared and kissed back, not wanting to let me go without a kiss of my own. I love you, Matthew. Matthew sighed before smiling at me, finally calm.
I love you too.
I didn't want to wake up if this was indeed a dream. I felt light as a feather, not wanting to ever let go of this man in my life. There was no words that could describe the emotions within me. I felt joy, happiness, ecstatic high all at once. Here I was, with the man I would be with forever, with a cake I would delight in, even in pieces. I had gained the heart of a demon, no, of a man I loved. I vowed to cherish him and love him for the remainder of my days and beyond. Could a demon love a human forever? I knew Matthew would. And that was my happily ever after. Matthew's cake, N. Cool. And I already got that. Okay, demon war. Anyways, cool. And that is the true ending of Matthew's route. Wow, I just like zipped on by this like crazy fast. Anyways, there's only a couple of things I kind of wanted to check out, which is how the slightly alternative version of Matthew's true ending would be like, and also the thing that popped up in my head as I was playing was like, what happened if I said yes to Diana instead of no? I'm pretty sure it might have ended the same way as James did, because the question, it was the same offer she gave us with James's route. So let's go back and see.
12 seconds later.
Okay, you guys, we are back here into the point where they were having the confrontation in the kitchen, which is this is basically near the end of the game, or near the end of his route. And previous to this choice, there were two other choices where we either choose to barge in or hold our ground, and also the it does concern me or I don't care, get out. So basically, I already kind of figured that the second choice, which was like it does concern me, I don't care, get out, it kind of would go down the same way it did with James's route, which I had already chosen just to see in James's route, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the same. The previous one, to either barge in or to hold your ground, I did that choice off screen just to see like what the hell, if it's like interesting at all or if it's boring or anything like that. And basically how it went down is that we just stayed where we were hidden, and then those two were continuing the conversation. Hannah's just like, oh, I'll hold my ground, I'll just stay here because I trust Matthew enough, or I trust James enough to like handle her, and like they won't try anything. And so Diana basically, I think, threatens them like physically, like I'll force you to come back with me if it comes down to it. But then they're all like, nah, that you're just bluffing, because I know for the fact that you spent enough energy like just around here in this realm, in this world, that you don't have enough strength to actually beat us down when it comes to it. And she's like, okay, fine, well at least I ain't a little bitch like your little girlfriend over here hiding in this corner. And she totally calls us out on it, and I'm like, oh my god, wow, just that choice is just really stupid in my opinion. It's like, it just made me feel like a little bitch. So I didn't choose that. Either way, regardless, like James just didn't really care. He's just like, whatever, and then he sent us all back to bed, and that was how it ended. So this one might be a little different, just a little different in dialogue, but obviously it's not the right choice. We're gonna say he's not a child instead of I love him, proclaiming our love. So let's go. I wasn't about to lose this battle of wits. He's not a child that needs his mother. He's a grown man who just wants to live his life how he wants to live. Now will you stop being so selfish and leave him alone? Diana stared at me as if I had slapped her hard in the cheek. I had bruised her pride, and she was no longer hiding it. However, she didn't get angry. She seemed to have an emotion I couldn't recognize.
A tongue of ice, even when faced with danger.
Okay, so she's basically saying the same shit as she said in James's route, except different in context to like different guys. So for Matthew's case, he's not a child. For James's case, she's like, well, he don't want to be who we don't want to be, so whatever. Diana looked at Matthew, who kept his position behind me. I glared at Diana harder.
I can see why you like her so much. Are you truly certain you want to choose this human over me?
I'm starting to think that maybe Matthew's slightly alternative non-true ending is like a breakfast in bed kind of thing. I think the same shit as James's route too. So, to my surprise, Matthew didn't say a word. He stared at Diana as if he expected her to know what he was going to say. Diana kept silent for a moment, staring at staring at me and Matthew in thought. I could tell she was looking for some leeway to win, but there was none. Her face grew almost solemn.
Very well. Fine. Valet.
Okay, so she disappears. I'm pretty sure at this point, you know, we're gonna just, Matthew's probably gonna be like, "Are you okay?" Blah blah blah, and then he's gonna send us off to bed. Like there's no trigger in like the sexy times. So that's what happened last time in James. So I'm expecting it to happen in this portion right now. So I'm just probably gonna skip. See, haha, we are. I was right, you guys. Basically, what happened if you had screwed up on any of the other choices and he sent you back to bed, and his following slightly non-true ending was like he comes in with breakfast in bed. Surprise, surprise. So that's basically how it goes down, probably the same way as James is dead. So the door opened to reveal Matthew with a small tray of food for me. A vase with a blue rose sat beside a hot plate of pancakes, eggs, and bacon, decorating my breakfast beautifully.
Good morning. Made breakfast.
Thank you. I figured you would. I simply smiled. It wasn't a dream. I still had Matthew. I still felt the magic in the air around me. I wasn't alone. Matthew walked over and placed a tray on the bed across my legs.
Did you sleep well?
Yes, sure. I did. I had a dream about everything that happened to us.
Oh? What do you remember?
Everything, how we met, how'd you care for me, everything. It almost made me believe it was all a dream. Matthew smiled at me and sat beside me in bed, making me giggle.
Well, if this is a dream, then this is the best dream ever.
Yeah, just slightly different dialogue, same shit. Matthew smiled his cutest smile, making my heart flutter slightly. His devotion to me was beyond my imagination. And that was my happily ever after. That was it. And so that concludes the slightly altered ending that we will get if you had chosen anything slightly off. The last thing I wanted to see, as I've said before, is what would happen if we said yes to Diana. So, obviously hold on, where the fuck is it? Oh well, hold on.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I realized I didn't make a save. Actually, to be honest, I didn't actually make any saves during Matthew's rap because I figured that the number one, the choices were really obvious, and number two, like I figured that a lot of shit would be the same, and I wouldn't need to show you any other choices I would make otherwise, because yeah, it would be the same. But I realized that I hadn't done those two things. Those two things just popped in my head, and I was like, oh shit, that means I have to go all the way back to the beginning start of a Matthew's route, and then work my way up to the point where we had the kitchen scenario, and then save it there and then do here. Okay, so yeah. So anyways, we're here. She probably made the same offer she did with James's route, and yeah, like I said, instead of saying no, we're gonna say yes, because we're just so heartless. The more I thought about it, the more the future scared me. He was a demon, I was a human. We could truly never be together in the purest sense. He could outlive me, he could overthrow me. Thinking about the future with this man suddenly scared me beyond all thought. Wow, you're a little bitch. Take them? No. Oh, okay, you know what? I'm pretty sure. Okay, this is a surprising turn, so I'm gonna say no just to see, and then we're gonna go back, and then we're gonna say take them. But then I began to remember how the boys cared for me. They helped me with the house party. They came to rescue me. They trusted me with the truth of their existence. They believed me and cared for me deeply and wanted to run away from the life they had before. The man I loved gave me everything and swore to be with me forever. I couldn't break that trust and give them up. I looked at Diana and shook my head. No, I won't give them up. Diana sighed and shrugged.
Stubborn. Humans are just so stubborn.
Whatever. Diana then stood at the railing and crossed her arms.
I hope you've made the right choice, dear. Living with a demon is not all it's cracked up to be.
I don't really care. Your opinion does not matter to me. I think I'll manage. Okay, so that's it. She takes our energy and she leaves. That's all. So let's go back. Okay, we're back. We're back again, and we're gonna say take them this time, because I love how at this point I think the game is just trying to convince you. It's like, are you sure? Are you certain? Do you want to do this? Are you that stupid? Anyways, take them. Take them. I don't care. Dana stared in surprise.
Did I hear you correctly, dear?
Yeah, go on. It's for science. Shut up. Yes, take them. My humanity was screaming magic and demons had consumed my life, but I couldn't take it anymore. I wouldn't let it take over my lifetime. I was human, I would live a human life. He and I would never work. You don't know that. Now you don't know that. But in return, I want to do as I want. No more disappointment from my father. No more duty to live up to. Diana smirked before closing her hand and muttering Latin phrases under her breath, loud enough for me to hear. She then opened her hand and revealed a small purple vial. What is that?
A memory potion. It will remove all of the memories of demons and magic from your mind. With the memories gone, you can live your life as free as you want.
I have a feeling that this might go towards a certain non-romantic ending. Is it? What about the boys?
I have a spell for them. As soon as you drink that potion, you sign your contract with me, and I will take the boys back to where they belong.
I feel like this might be leading towards this one ending I said I had done, but I said I would also leave it for another separate video for all like the miscellaneous like endings that had nothing to do with the guys or a romancing in general at all. So I'm probably gonna skip this part. I'm probably gonna just leave that video on hand for you guys. Like, you know, you don't need to see this now, but I will show it to you later, kind of thing. Hey guys, so basically it did lead up to the point where I was saying before, like this one non-romantic ending with Hannah where like I already did it previously, I think at the end of Damien's route slash video-ish recording that I had done before, like I was experimenting around different choices as well. And yeah, I was at this point of the game where like I might as well just get this one ending and then just kind of record it in one and then like leave it for you guys in like a separate video to watch after I've done everybody's route, every possible route or romantic route, and then like it'll be like a miscellaneous ending video. So yeah, anyways, I didn't want to spoil it here now. Like you guys can wait. Like it's nothing that exciting anyways, so you're not missing out on much. So you can wait for that video to be like, you know, released. Anyways, that concludes officially Matthew's route. And so the next guy that I said I would be going down the list on, I think it was Sam that's next. Oh goddamn, Sam. Sam, the most difficult of all. Anyways, as I said, Sam would be the next one, and then Eric would be the last of the incubi guys, and then it would be Andrew, and then it would be the rest of the girls, and then all the other endings, and that's how I'll plan out this Let's Play. Anyways, yeah, that's all. So thank you for watching. I'll tune in the next episode to watch me do Sam's route. So until then, bye you guys.